Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to your morning practice. If you could just pop on the chat bar on the side and let me know that you can see and hear me. I can't see or hear you, as many of you know and many of you wonder. Let me just make sure. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Patty. Hi, Pam. Hi, Anya. Good morning. Amazing. Thank you. Okay, you probably can't see him, but I have little Bodhi with me here this morning. If you watch my stuff online, sometimes you'll see that he loves to be part of the equation. So today he wanted up. So he's going to be part of it. Good morning, Pam. Awesome. Hi, Christy and Judy. Morning, Heidi. Okay, so let me just reiterate. It was hard to get up early. I started a half hour early today. Whose idea was that? Okay, a couple things. Every once in a while, I like to pull an oracle card. So this morning, I pulled from the Keepers of the Light. As always, if this is not your thing, just let it pass right on by you. But I find it helpful and supportive at times, so I'm going to share when I feel called. Today, I picked up the card Kali Ma, and Kali Ma is all about facing fear. And I know fear is something that's come up for me here and there quite a bit in the last little while. So Kali Ma says, major spiritual changes are unfolding, and this is your chance to soar. This is a time when you are able to look fear in the eye and move away from it. Fear is just energy, and energy can be changed. This can be an intense experience because the human self is so conditioned that it may be used to operating with fear present. And when the fear is gone, it may feel as though an emptiness is there, but this is a place for love and miracles to enter. You are being filled with the courage of spirit now so that you can move from this phase of your life to the next. Trust the process and call on Kali Ma to help you release your fear and step into a space that's strong, focused, and courageous. So if you needed to hear that this morning, this is for you. Please find a really nice space for you to be able to practice this morning. Obviously that you are in good view of your computer or your phone or whatever you're using to look at and follow along. My first and biggest, other than a yoga mat, recommendation is to have some sort of block, something to create height, to allow you to release out of your back body, out of the back of your hamstrings, and open into a fuller, more supported expression of many poses. If you don't have yoga blocks, like most of us don't, then anything that is equal in height that allows you to get a little bit off the floor would be helpful. So even a set of books, in fact, I'd probably do 2 sets because I use my blocks vertically, which is actually quite a bit of height, just as much as I do this way and this way. So if you get a chance in the future to get yourself a set of yoga blocks, I really recommend these ones that are made out of cork. Environmentally, they're better than foam, but also they're soft enough that when you lie back on them, they're comfortable, but they're rigid enough that you feel like you're connected when you're on them. Good morning, Jenny. Today is a slow flow yoga practice. I know that it feels right for me today to move a little slower and more deliberately. I'm going to cue your breath quite a bit, morning Karen, so that you can get used to that idea of pairing your breath with your motion. So breath in yoga is typically an in and out through the nose, and it does a few things. If you do ujjayi breathing, which is the typical breath in most yoga practices, there's a gentle constriction at the back of your throat, and you're almost breathing like you're going to fog up a mirror. I know that sounds weird. It sounds a bit like Darth Vader. That's actually ujjayi breathing, and it happens by creating a gentle, gentle constriction at the back of your throat so that when you're breathing in and you're breathing out, it creates that noise, but it also creates that warming within your body. So it is a way to also create a sense of calmness and at the same time heat you up. So if you lose anything in your yoga practice, if your breath gets away from you, if you're in a yoga pose where it completely shuts down your breathing, that's your cue to ease out of it a little bit, to find a space and a place where you can practice such that you maintain your breath, because your breath is what's going to carry you forward in life, and in yoga, definitely no exception. If you want a yoga strap, that's always nice as well. It just allows you to reach for your feet a little bit better, especially at the end of the practice when we tend to go into forward folds. And the other thing I would recommend, down you go, Bodhi, is that you find yourself a towel or a blanket for a couple of reasons. One is it's something you can cover yourself with at the beginning and the end of your practice, but I use it mostly as a prop. So a folded blanket works wonderfully underneath your sitting bones to allow you to rock your pelvis forward, so that when you are reaching forward to stretch, you're not so much doing it like this, but you are doing it like this, okay? If that makes sense. It's also great to place underneath your knees in your yoga practice if you have a little bit of stress underneath your kneecaps or along the front edge of your shin. You can use this, or you can use a hand towel or a folded blanket, whatever works for you. So why don't we go ahead and start on your back, closing your eyes down. Good morning, Karen. Karen and Karen. Morning, Robin. Finding a space where you can take up some space. Lie back or sit in a cross-legged position, whatever is most comfortable to you. If you're on your back, taking up lots of space with your arms and with your legs, letting your toes fall out to the side, letting your palms roll open, slight tuck of your shoulder blades, small tuck of your chin. Or feel free to bend your elbows and rest your hands on your belly or on your heart. I want you to pay attention today, as always, to what you need. Please don't extend your practice beyond where you feel capable and comfortable today. And if something isn't feeling great, I want you to listen to your cues more than you're listening to my cues. So I want to make sure in this type of practice where we're not in the same room and I don't get to support you with hands-on, I want you to just be really cognizant of minding your practice in a way that feels good to you. If you have any questions, you can always private message me in the chat bar, or you can reach out to me between our yoga practices. I'm happy to jump on a call or have a quick email exchange or whatever supports you properly. As always, I won't be playing music on my end, but if you want to play music on your end, please do. Today is a slow flow. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Sarah. So a slow flow means that we create some conscious, deliberate motion, which we always do in yoga, but do in a way that feels juicy. Move in a way that feels deliberate for you today. Good morning, Mickey. Good morning, Georgia. I'm just going to put my hair up. Today's a little bit of a crazy hair day. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to head over to my mat. We have a nice big group this morning. Makes me happy. So even though we're all generally by ourselves in our own room right now, I like to think that we're collectively practicing together. And that's what makes me happy this morning. So lying on your back, I'm going to sit up. Taking some space, softening your eyelids, taking the wrinkles out of your forehead and the tension out of your jaw. Bend your knees and just place the soles of your feet on the ground. Float your hands up over top of your head, interlace your hands and just reach out, flipping your palms above your head, lengthening out of your waist, inhaling and exhaling, releasing your arms. Floating your arms up over top of your face and just starting to move your wrists around in circles, going one direction, then the other. And then flexing your wrists, placing your palms as if you're standing on the ceiling, and anchoring your shoulder blades into the ground, but at the same time pressing the palms of your hands towards the ceiling. Bringing your fingers back towards your face and feeling the stretch all the way through the wrists and the front edges of your forearms. Releasing and now flexing your wrists and drawing your palms of your hands down towards your body and flexing your palms so that you're feeling the stretch down the back side of your forearms. And then going back and forth as if you're in tabletop. And moving your wrists every direction. Opening up your palms, spreading your fingers, clenching your fists all together and back and forth. Giving your wrists a shake. And releasing your hands, drawing one knee into your chest, followed by the other. And gently pressing your knees towards your belly, nice and wide, and giving a small rock from side to side. Stilling your body, holding onto your right knee, pressing out through your left heel, flexing both your feet, hovering your left heel above the ground, pulling in just a little bit more with your right knee, pressing forward through your left heel, and then switching, bringing your left knee in, pressing your right heel towards the front edge of your mat, flexing both of your feet, and switching again, back and forth, from side to side, keeping your head on the ground and pulling your knee in every time it comes close to your chest, back and forth. Breathing deep, just feeling the subtle warmth of your legs before your weight bearing this morning in your practice. An option to bring your upper body up, leading with your chest, keeping all the stress up your neck. And if that feels uncomfortable, then go ahead and just release your head and your neck back down to the ground. Starting to engage your abdominals, maybe going a little bit higher, going back and forth, pressing through your heels. For 3, for 2, for 1, release your head and neck back to the ground, hold both of your knees in. Another rock from side to side. And when you're ready, rolling onto your side, pressing on up to sit in a cross-legged seated position. So finding a nice comfortable position for you, whether you're sitting on the edge of your mat or you feel like you can properly stack your head over your shoulders, over your waist, sitting cross-legged. Placing your hands on either side of your knees. Inhaling, sitting up nice and tall, small arch of your back, broadening your chest, and then exhaling, softening, rolling back through your hips, holding onto your knees, tucking your chin, and curling in as best you can. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Broadening your shoulder blades. And then exhaling, rocking back on your sitting bones. Tucking your chin, rolling and hollowing your belly, and back and forth, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, rolling all the way back. And keep going for a couple rotations, back and forth. Exaggerating your breath as you're moving. 2 more rotations. Sitting up nice and tall. Hollowing your belly, chin to chest for the last one. And this time when you sit up nice and tall, just releasing your hands, walking your right hand over to the right hand side, inhaling your left arm up and over top of your head. Pressing into your left sitting bone, reaching out through your left fingertips. Option to look up. Breathing deeply into your left rib cage. Finding whatever length feels good to you. Inhaling up to neutral, releasing your left hand down. Inhale your right arm up and over your top, side bending to the left. Letting there be motion. Being cognizant of where your head is in space. Starting to dynamically move from side to side. Open up, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up and over top of the head. Create the length and then wave back. Left hand down, inhale, right arm up and over top. And going back and forth, letting the motion be as juicy and as exaggerated as feels good to you. Bending that upper arm as you're coming across, waking up your shoulder and rotator cuff muscles, and doing your best to stay on that nice linear side bend. Keep going. Inhaling to rise, exhaling to side bend. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, walk your fingertips out. One of my favorite stretches, you know I do it often. Reaching forward with your fingertips, pressing back through your sitting bones. Give it a little wiggle and release your head between your biceps. Breathing deeply into your back body. Inflating the space in your lower back with your own breath. Walking your hands back a couple inches, and then inhaling your arm up over top of your head, really small side bend, and then exhale, bring this right hand underneath to hover in this cross-legged position. Inhale, sweep it all the way back up to the right. Exhale, sweep your right hand underneath your left, hovering it above the ground, looking to your left. Inhaling one more time, looking up, exhaling all the way through, keeping it moving, and then bringing it back to neutral. This time, hands are just about 1.5 feet above in front of your feet. Inhaling your left arm up to create any amount of space. Exhale, dive it right on through underneath your right arm. Inhale to create some length. Exhale all the way through. Inhale, last time, create some space. Exhale, come all the way through, continuing to hover, and then bringing it back to neutral. Walking your hands back up, place your left hand on the outside of your right knee, walk your right hand behind you. Inhale to create length, exhale, twist to your right. Feel the twist originate all the way in the pelvis and come all the way up your spine. Option to bring your gaze over your right shoulder. Breathing deep. Keeping your right elbow nice and soft so you're not locking it. Taking your gaze forward, releasing the twist, bringing your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Walk your left hand behind. Inhale to create length. Exhale, twist to the left. Using your right hand to leverage against your left knee. Breathing deep. One more breath. Bring your gaze forward, release the twist. Moving on to hands and knees position. And before we start anything, bring your knees nice and wide, feet together, and press all the way back into child's pose with your hands way out in front of you. Take up lots of space with your upper body. Bring your fingertips as wide as your yoga mat and sit as far back as you can. As you inhale, come all the way up, hands forward. Bring your feet parallel and your knees parallel. And come forward into a modified plank. Try not to let your hips drop too much. And bend your elbows, keeping your elbows in line with your ribs. Release all the way down to the ground. Once you are on the ground, walk your hands back so that your elbows are directly over top of your wrists. Look down to the ground, plant the tops of your feet into the ground, and press up on hands and knees in plank, and then sit all the way back into child's pose. Soon as your sitting bones hit your heels, wave forward, release all the way down in a modified push-up. When you get to the bottom, engage your abdomen, roll your shoulder blades back and down your back, press into your hands, lift up in one long line. When you get up to the top, bend your knees and come all the way back. We're going to do this about 5 times. And making sure that you have one long line for your knees all the way to the crown. So it's not like push-ups in a gym where our hands go out to the side. In yoga, we tack our shoulders, broaden through the shoulders, and bring our elbows back as if we're doing tricep push-ups. Okay, so make sure that when you do this, that you're not placing a lot of stress in the front of your shoulders. And if that's the case, then I want you to just release down and come back and forth through hands and knees. So all the way down. When you get to the bottom, press into your shins, the top of your feet, engage your back body, press all the way up, come all the way back into child's pose. Keep going. Release all the way down, press back up. Practicing these push-ups, I know is a bit annoying, but it's one of the ways that we build strength with proper alignment. So that when we do finally get into a full plank and a full chaturanga and possibly even an up dog, we're doing it in a way that feels nice and safe because our shoulders and our back body and our abdominals are nice and strong. 2 more. And if you're already out and you're lying on your belly, awesome. Just take a moment. And 1 more. This time, come all the way down and releasing down, making sure that your feet are hip distance apart. Bring your hands on either side of your shoulders. Inhale, press down into your hands and lift up into cobra. Roll your shoulder blades back and down your back, looking forward, breathing deep. 1 more inhale, and exhale, release all the way down. Come back through hands and knees. Tuck your toes and press it back into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, taking a peek at your hands, making sure that every one of your fingers is far apart. You're making contact with your mat, with each one of your knuckles. Pressing firmly in your hands, bending your knees, reaching your sitting bones to the sky. And take a moment to pedal out your feet. Still your downward facing dog. Take a peek forward and roll forward onto your toes, waving forward into full plank. So once you're in full plank, take a peek down, make sure that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, that your feet are hip distance apart. You're pressing back through both of your heels, engaging your abdominals, lifting your kneecaps, legs are strong. Lift your head so it's in alignment with your spine, pressing back through the heels, reaching forward to the crown of your head. Feel the shake. And if at any point you want to release your knees to the mat, please do. One more deep breath. Exhale, bend your knees, go back into downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Take your chest all the way towards your knees. And a low crouch at the back of your mat. And then inhale, waving forward into plank. As soon as you get there, lifting back up into downward facing dog. Back and forth, bending your knees in down dog, waving forward, finding your plank on your tippy toes. Exhale, pressing all the way back. Keep going. Let it be juicy. Let there be lots of motion. 2 more. This time when you come back, bend your knees and release back into child's pose. As you know, child's pose is my favorite pose in yoga, probably one of your favorites too. And you don't have to wait for me to cue child's pose. It's something that you can come into every single time you visit your yoga mat. When your breath gets beyond you, or you feel like you just want to take a moment to regather yourself, always drop down into child's pose. And when you take it, enjoy it. It's a guilt-free posture, and it's just as important as every other posture in yoga. Come to sit on your heels, come to sit up. Inhale your arms nice and wide, all the way up, sweep your arms up, palms together, exhale, hands through heart center. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, arch back, chin to chest. Inhale, sweep your arms up, create some length. Exhale, palms to heart center. Interlace your palms, pressing your palms forward, belly button to spine. Inhale, sweeping up. Option to look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Pressing forward, opening up through the shoulder blades, chin to chest. Inhale, creating length all the way up. When you get to the top, release your hands, bring them all the way back. Interlace your palms behind your back, pressing your index fingers down, broadening through your chest. Exhale, coming forward, placing the crown of your head a few inches in front of your knees, rolling up onto the crown of your head and letting your arms release up and over top of your head any amount into rabbit. Breathing deep. Releasing yourself, rolling off the crown, lifting all the way back up, sweeping your arms up to the side, looking up, palms together, exhaling, hands to heart center, walking your hands forward, coming back up into downward facing dog, placing your feet on either side of your yoga mat, take a half a step forward, press back into a wide-legged downward facing dog. Press firmly into your left hand and reach your right hand across your body underneath to take hold anywhere on your left leg. Squaring your body to the front of the mat, releasing your head, pressing back, making sure you're not collapsing through your upper body. One more deep breath, feeling the twist. Releasing your right hand back to the mat, setting yourself back up, and then reaching your left hand underneath your right, taking hold of any spot on the outside of your right leg, pressing firmly back with your right hand, reaching up through your sitting bones. For 2 more breaths. Placing your hand back down, walking your feet back to downward facing dog, looking forward, and gently walking your feet towards your hands, coming into a forward fold at the front of your mat.
Feet hip distance apart, releasing the crown of your head towards the mat. Bending your knees, lifting your sit bones towards the ceiling. Hands on the ground or on blocks. Let there be a little motion and movement. Make it juicy. Take what you need. And when you're ready, start to walk your hands up your body, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Your head is the last to rise. And when you come to stand at the front of your mat, inhale your arms up, all the way over top of your head. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and close your eyes. Pressing the palms of your hands together, broadening through your collarbones. Feeling your thumb make contact with your sternum. Press down into your feet. Feel all four corners of your feet. Lifting up through the inner arches. Engaging your legs. Lifting your kneecaps. Shoulder blades are back and down your body. Lifting through your crown. Feeling your heartbeat. Releasing your hands, sweep your arms up. Look up. Exhale to fold all the way to standing forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, place your hands on the front of your shins or the blocks. Bend your knees so that you're one long line from the crown of your head to your sitting bones. Exhale to fold. Inhale, waving back up to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, this time reaching for opposite elbows. Releasing your head between your biceps. And rocking back and forth from your toes to your heels. Practicing your ujjayi breathing. An audible breath that you can hear. Releasing your hands on either side, inhaling again to halfway lift. Exhaling, placing your hands down, stepping back with your right foot to the back of your mat and releasing your right knee to the mat. Untuck your toes, inhaling both hands to the front of your left shin, releasing forward into a modified lunge. Letting your left knee reach towards your left toes. Broadening your chest, centering it to the front of your mat. Inhaling your arms up, reaching up, nice and wide through your shoulder blades. Looking forward. Exhale your hands down, plant them on either side, tuck your back toes, step back to plank, releasing your knees, come down in one long line like we've already practiced. Inhaling to cobra, hands on either side, press down, reach up. Exhale all the way back down. Press through tabletop to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale right through to your right fingertips. Left knee down, untuck your left toes. Inhale, hands on your right knee. Pressing into your knee, lifting up out of your pelvis. Lunging forward, feeling the stretch all the way down the front of your left thigh. Practicing your breath nice and deep. Inhaling your arms up. Reach up. Reaching through your fingertips. Fingers spread apart. Looking forward. Exhale, hands down. Tuck your left toes, springing forward to the front of your mat. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, arms up. Reverse swan all the way up. Hands together, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing deep. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Step back with your left foot to the back of your mat. Releasing your left knee down. Inhaling, hands on your right hip. On your right knee. Pressing forward. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms, elbows back. Broadening your chest to the front of your mat. Inhale your arms back up. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank. Knees down, release down in one long line. Practice your form as you go. Inhale the cobra, opening up. Exhale, all the way down, pressing back through tabletop, lifting to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, left foot through the left hand. Release your right knee. Inhaling, hands to your left knee. Letting there be motion. Moving forward into your left knee. Inhale your arms up. Reach up at your fingertips. Exhale, cactus your arms. Bring your elbows back, broadening through your chest. Arching, looking up any amount. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands on either side. Tuck your toes, spring forward to the front of your mat again. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse one, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Releasing your hands behind your back. Interlace your palms, index fingers pressing down, reaching towards the ground. Rolling your shoulder blades back. Looking forward, broadening through the chest. Exhale, bending your knees, coming forward into standing forward fold. Releasing your hands up over top of your head, forward any amount. Still keeping your knees bent, taking the pressure out of the back of the legs. Lifting your sitting bones as high as you can to the ceiling. Inhale to halfway lift, hands still behind your back. So pressing forward with the crown of your head, bending your knees, skier's pose. Reaching your fingertips back. Exhale, forward fold. Releasing your hands on either side of the mat, stepping back to plank. Option to go into full plank or releasing your knees to the mat. So you're either going to release your knees coming down in one long line to cobra, or you're going to tip forward, come down in chaturanga, flip your feet, and lift up into upward facing dog. Taking your time and pressing back, meeting in downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet and noticing whether or not you feel like you need to take a big deep breath in through your nose and a long loud exhale out your mouth. Stepping your feet together, inhale your right leg up, stacking your right hip on top of your left, bending your right knee, reaching your knee towards the ceiling, squaring the front of your body to the mat, opening up the hip to the right side of your mat. Inhale your right leg straight, exhale, right foot through the right hand, spin your left heel down on a 90 degrees. Keeping your hands on the ground, just take a peek, making sure your right foot is facing forward. The heel of your right foot is in line with the arch of your left foot. Okay. Inhale, sweeping your left arm up and back and opening your body to the left-hand side of your mat. Pressing firmly into your right knee, making sure your right knee is tracking forward of your right toes. And making sure that your body is not sliding too far forward or too far back, but you're finding the balance where your head is stacking over top of your hips. Gaze is over top of your right finger. Releasing your right elbow to your right knee, inhaling your left arm up and over top of your head. Finding the length through your left fingertips, pressing back on the outer edge of your left foot. Option to spin your gaze underneath your left arm. Putting so little weight into your right elbow. Finding the strength of your legs. Option where you could even just release your right elbow from your knee and float it up beside your ear. One more breath. Inhale, back to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, flip your right palm, reach back over top of your head. Press back to your right fingertips, reaching forward with your right knee. Exhale, spin your hands all the way back down. Either side of your right foot, step back to plank and take your vinyasa or skip the vinyasa and meet us in downward facing dog. Slow and deliberate. Meeting in downward facing dog. Step your feet together, inhale your left leg up, stacking your left hip on top of your right. Reaching up with your left knee, pressing your right heel towards the mat. Inhale your left leg straight, exhale, bring your left foot through to your left hand. Spin your right heel down, take your time, inhaling yourself to warrior two on the left. If your arms start to get tired, no problem, just bring your hands to your waist. Do what feels comfortable to you, and when you're ready, open your arms up to the sides. Calming your breath. Reaching back with your right fingertips, reaching forward with your left. Opening your hips up to the right side of the mat. Releasing your left elbow to your left knee, inhaling your right arm up and over top of your head. Finding that long line. Option to spin your gaze under your right elbow. Finding the strength in your legs. An option to float your left elbow up, over top, meeting up with your right. Spinning your body open to the right. One more deep breath. Press into your legs, lifting back up into warrior two. Reversing your warrior, spin your left palm up, reaching back over top of your head, pressing forward into your left knee. Exhale all the way back down, both hands beside your left foot, stepping back to plank and going through your vinyasa, all the way down. Inhaling to cobra, upward facing dog. Exhaling, coming back and releasing back into child's pose. Walking your hands back beside your body, flipping your palms to the ceiling. And relaxing. Two more breaths. Giving your body a little rock from side to side. Just reminding yourself that you're still here. Staying connected with your breath. And when you're ready to keep going, go ahead and sitting up on your heels. Reaching up, both hands up and over top of your head, looking up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center, interlace your fingers, pressing forward with your hands, reaching back, chin to chest, feeling the opening between the shoulder blades. Inhale, arms up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Keep going. Pressing forward with your fingers, belly button to spine, chin to chest. Inhale, large arcing motion all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, one more time. Reaching back, pressing forward, feeling every one of your vertebrae opening up. Inhaling as you come up, reaching up, releasing your hands, interlacing your hands the awkward way. So opposite finger interlacing, index fingers pressing back, opening up through your chest, coming up, coming forward, crowning your head on the ground, rolling forward onto your crown, lifting your hands up and over top of your head. Breathing deep. It's actually very calming on your nervous system to have pressure on the sutures of your cranium. So even if you're not a person who goes up into headstand, at least putting the crown of your head down on the ground is incredibly nurturing. When you're ready, untucking your toes, rolling back, lifting up, and releasing your hands, coming back into downward facing dog. Stepping your feet up a bit on either side of your mat, pressing back in a shortened down dog. Inhale your right hand, cross your body, holding onto your left foot, left leg, left shin, looking underneath your left armpit, pressing back firmly with your left hand, reaching through to the sky with your sitting bones. Breathing deep. Releasing your right hand to the mat. Inhaling your left hand across to your right leg. Finding the leverage, option to look under your right armpit. Finding the space in your rib cage. Release your left hand to the mat. Step your feet back in, look forward, and walk your feet to the front. Release into a forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan, all the way up. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Interlacing your hands behind your back, opposite side. Press down into your feet. Index fingers reaching towards the ground, broadening through the chest. Exhale, forward fold, bending your knees, releasing your hands up and over top of your head. Inhale the halfway lift, reaching forward with the crown, pressing back through your fingers. Exhale to fold, releasing your hands on either side. Stepping back to plank, going through your vinyasa. Breathing in downward facing dog, slow and deliberate. One breath per motion. Reaching back, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhaling your right leg up. Exhaling right foot through to right hand. Warrior one, spin your back heel down on a 45-degree angle. Inhale, both hands up. Straight up, looking forward. And releasing your hands back down on either side of your hips. So warrior one is the closed hip motion. So in warrior two, where we're open to the side, warrior one's a little bit more complicated. So when we come forward, the cueing is that the right heel is in alignment with the left heel. But for a lot of us, that feels like a lot of pressure on the left knee. So if that's uncomfortable for you, then take your legs apart as if you're standing on train tracks. And if that's still uncomfortable for you, then pop your back heel up like you're in a high lunge. Okay, so it's important that you pay attention to what your body needs. If you're able to be down with your foot on a 45-degree angle, then you want to work towards centering your hips to the front of your mat. And when you're ready, inhaling your hands up and over top of your head, bending forward into your knee, reaching up, pressing firmly into the outer edge of your left foot, breathing deep. Exhale, bring your hands behind your back, interlacing, inhaling to create length, exhaling to humble warrior, reaching forward, hinging at the hips, placing your right shoulder inside your right knee, crown of your head descending towards your right toes, letting your hands release up and over top of your head any amount. Staying strong in your legs. No collapsing, continuing to find your strength. One more breath. Inhale to rise, keeping your legs nice and strong. When you come up, inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. And meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, left foot through to your left hand. Spin your back heel down on a 45-degree angle or on train tracks. Inhale, both arms up. Bending into your left knee, straightening your back right leg. Containing your lower ribs, making sure you're not pressing forward, but you're hugging your ribs in. One more breath. Interlacing your hands in the awkward way behind your back. Inhaling to create length, exhaling, hinging forward, coming into humble warrior. Left shoulder inside your left knee, sweeping your arms up and over top of your head, any amount. Feeling the scissoring action of your feet, pressing out through the right outer side of your right foot. And inhaling, hinging back up. Inhaling your arms up. Exhaling, hands down on either side. Stepping back to plank, flowing through your vinyasa, or skipping the vinyasa, and coming right back into downward facing dog. Seeing if your heels come just a little closer to the ground, your hips rise a little closer to the ceiling. Finding the strength in your hands. Savoring what you can savor. Close your eyes. If you're in child's pose, either staying in child's pose or coming back up into downward facing dog. When you're in downward facing dog, taking a look forward, either walking or hopping to the front of your mat in a nice wide-legged forward fold. Placing the palms of your hands underneath the front of your toe pads, either side, pressing the soles of your feet onto your palms. Toes are all the way up to the crease of your wrists. Releasing your head towards the floor. Rising your sitting bones towards the sky. Feeling the weight of your body pressing into your hands. Opening your wrists. Releasing your hands. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Walking your toes out, keeping your heels in, and releasing all the way down into a wide-legged squat. So in a wide-legged squat, it's not necessary that your heels go all the way to the ground. Go nice and wide, and if you want, you can always sit on a block. So just take your time, find out what you need. And keeping your hands inside your legs, pressing into your knees, sitting up nice and tall, broadening through the chest, feeling the opening all the way across the front. Close your eyes. Feel yourself grounding into the earth. Pressing down into your right hand, pressing your right knee into your right elbow, sweeping your left arm up and over top any amount. Looking up towards your left fingertips, grounding down into the ground, lifting up into your upper body. Exhale your left hand down, firmly planting on the left side, inhaling your right arm up. Reach up, pressing your left elbow into your left knee, leveraging yourself open, looking up towards your left fingertips. Bringing your right hand down, centering your feet, lifting your hips high to the sky into a forward fold. Sweeping your arms up, all the way up. Lift up, look up. Exhale, placing your hands to heart center and sitting back into a chair. So in chair pose, either having your feet together, your knees together, or having your feet hip distance apart and your knees hip distance apart, sitting back into your heels, looking down, making sure that you can see your toes, broadening through the chest. Sit a little lower, little lower. Keep going, one more breath. Straightening your legs, inhaling, reaching your arms up over top of your head, looking up, Exhaling, hands to heart center, sitting back down into chair. Placing your left elbow on the outside of your right knee, twisting to the right, pressing down into the outside, pressing your fingers together, opening your body, spinning open to the right-hand side, keeping your head above your heart, sitting back into your heels, opening up to the side. Feeling the shake, releasing the twist, arms up, all the way up, reach up, hands together, exhale, sitting back into chair. Sitting all the way back, nice and open through the chest, twisting to the left. Right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Press your right elbow onto your knee, spinning your chest open to the left-hand side. Keeping your lower very low. Keeping your lower very low. You know what I mean. Releasing the twist. Coming back up through center, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Placing your hands behind your back, interlacing your hands, reaching down, broadening your chest to the sky. Exhale, coming to a forward fold. Releasing your hands above your head, bending your knees, feeling more opening through the shoulders. Inhaling to halfway lift, skiers pose. A little lower. Exhale into forward fold. Releasing your hands back to the mat. Stepping back into plank. One vinyasa. So coming down through downward facing, coming down through your vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, coming to pigeon, right knee through to your right wrist. Walking your left leg back. Coming up onto your fingertips. Centering yourself to the front of the mat, opening up through the chest. And exhale, walking your hands forward, any amount. Coming onto your forearms, coming all the way down onto your chest. And if this isn't comfortable for you, option to lie on your back and take figure 4. So lying on your back with your knees bent, right heel over top of left thigh, reaching through and gently drawing your left knee towards your chest. Wherever you are, releasing into the pose. If you're in pigeon pose, starting to walk yourself back up, sitting up nice and tall, facing forward, bending your left knee, bringing the heel of your left leg towards your left glute. Option to press down into your right hand, reach back with your left, taking a hold of anything onto your left foot and drawing your left heel towards your left buttock. Looking forward. If you're able to, just scooping your left heel in your left elbow, pointing your toe and drawing it towards your glute. Keeping your breath nice and deep. Releasing your left foot, stepping your hands on either side of your knee, tucking your left toes, and coming back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out your dog, swinging your hips from side to side. If you're on your back, simply releasing your foot to the mat, And getting ready to set up for figure 4 on the opposite side. When you're ready, inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee, left wrist. Walking back on your right-hand side. Finding your length, finding whatever symmetry you can find, and then when you're ready, start to release your upper body down. Finding your stillness, but still finding your breath. Giving yourself the presence. When you're ready, walking your fingertips back up. Centering your body to the front of the mat. Flexing your right knee, bringing your right heel towards your glute. An option to press into your left hand, reach back with your right hand and draw your right heel towards your right glute. If you have the space, flexing or pointing your right toe, hooking it inside your right elbow and drawing it in close. Looking forward. Feeling the breath go all the way down to the front of your right thigh. And if this isn't accessible to you, finding what is accessible to you. One more breath. Releasing your right foot back and pressing back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out your dog. And when you have a moment, stilling your dog and seeing how much you can take your heels towards the ground and lift your sitting bones towards the sky. Engage your abdominals. Create whatever bend you need in your knees. Press firmly with your fingertips, releasing your head between your biceps. And when you're ready, looking forward, stepping or hopping to the front of your mat, inhaling to halfway lift, exhaling to fold. Inhale, reverse one, all the way up. Reach up, exhale, releasing your hands to heart center. Stepping back with your left leg all the way down your mat into a wide-legged stance. Taking a peek down, making sure that your toes and your heels are on the same line. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Interlacing your hands behind your back. Reaching your index fingers towards the ground. Inhaling, broadening your chest. Exhaling, hinging at the hips. Folding forward, crown towards the ground, allowing your hands to go up and over top of your head. If it's too much to have your hands over top of your head, just release your hands, bring them down between your feet, bending your elbows, rocking forward and rocking back till you find the sweet spot between the front and the back of your legs. And even putting a slight micro bend into your knees. Releasing your crown towards the mat, lifting your sitting bones towards the sky. If you still have your hands over top of your head, releasing your hands down. Inhaling, walking your hands forward to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold and walking your hands all the way over top to your right foot. taking hold of any part of your right foot, reaching over and forward, folding your nose towards your right knee. Bending your elbows. Releasing your hands back down. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold, walking your hands all the way over to your left foot. Holding on to the outside of your left foot or wherever you can take hold. Releasing down, reaching your crown towards your left foot. Finding the symmetry in your pelvis. Inhale, walking back up to halfway lift. Looking forward and bending your right knee, releasing all the way over to the right-hand side. So option to walk your toes out a little bit, making sure that your right knee is tracking in line with your right toes. So keeping your hips nice and low, side bending into your right knee, doing a side lunge. Option to bring your hands up, or like this, or releasing your hands down to the ground, but finding the space all the way down the right hip. Staying nice and low, walking yourself all the way over to the left-hand side. Option to spin your toes out just a smidge. Finding that space in your left hip. And walking back nice and low all the way back to the other side. Option to keep your hands out to the side. Take your time from side to side. So making sure that you're reaching back with your sitting bones and finding this motion. This is a complex motion. For many of us, it's hard. It's not easy for a lot of us. It's combining a lot of different elements. Flexibility and openness and strength. So if you want your hands down, please do. And go as fast or as slow as you'd like. The next time that you walk yourself over to the right-hand side, release down all the way down into your right knee. Option to bring your left toes towards the ceiling. Planting your right hand down, contacting your right elbow to the inside of your right knee. Inhaling your left arm up. Reach up. Exhale, place your hand back down, plant your left foot. Migrate all the way over to the left-hand side. Bend deeply into your left knee. Flex your right foot, release your right toes to the sky. Place your left hand down, inhale your right arm up. Look up. Exhale, hand back down, plant your right foot. Come all the way back to center to halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Walk your hands back between your feet. Bend your elbows. Reach your crown towards the ground. Inhale to halfway lift. Walk your hands all the way back to the front of your mat. Unhinge your back foot and hop your left foot to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms up, sweep up, all the way up, look up. Exhale, all the way back down. Come all the way back down, squat all the way till you're sitting on your back. Once you're sitting, just walk your feet out, hip distance apart. Place your hands on either side or hold on to the back side of your legs and slowly roll yourself back down as slow as you can, one vertebrae at a time. Do your best to keep your feet in contact with the ground. Keep going, nice and slow. And when you get all the way down to the bottom, bring one knee up, then the other. Squeeze your knees in nice and tight and rock from side to side. Close your eyes. Release your feet to the mat. We're going to do 2 sets of bridge. So placing your heels close to your glutes. Walk your hands out on either side of your body, palms down. Inhale, press down into your feet. Lift up with your hips. Option to interlace your hands underneath your back body. Tipping from one side to the other, tucking your shoulder blades under. Pressing into your feet, lifting your hips any amount, feeling the strength of your legs. Lift up a little higher, pressing your pelvis to the sky. Releasing your hands, exhaling and letting your body roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Place your feet wide, knock your knees together, and rest for a moment. Placing your hands back down. Coming back into your second set of bridge. If you prefer to do wheel, this is your option to do wheel. I'm not going to cue it because I'm not comfortable doing that without being in the room with you. But if you already have wheel in your practice, feel free to take wheel for the second set. Otherwise, go ahead with me. So stay where you are, nice and relaxed, or press down into your feet, lift your hips, interlace your hands underneath your back body. Pressing into your feet, keeping your feet hip distance apart, pressing down, lifting up, breathing deeply into your chest, lifting your belly to the sky, feeling the strength of your legs. 1 more deep breath in. Press a little harder, lift a little higher, and exhale, release your hands and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Taking a moment to pause, knock your knees in. And when you're ready, drawing your knees in towards your chest, nice and wide, reaching through, an option to take happy baby. So reaching for the outside edges of your feet, bring your knees to 90 degrees, press your feet into your hands and your hands into your feet, and draw your knees nice and wide towards your armpits. Reaching your tailbone towards the front of your mat. Breathing deeply in the space between your knees. Option to rock from side to side. Releasing, placing your knees together, putting your hands on the back of your thighs, and starting to rock back and forth, up and down your spine, letting your toes go up and over your head and coming up to a seated position. Placing your legs nice and wide, sitting up nice and tall. So this is the place where those of us that are tight in our hamstrings, which is about 99% of us, might find it helpful to sit on the edge of a rolled up mat or towel or blanket. So it's not to sit on the towel, it's to be on the edge. And again, this is where we talk about where it allows us to rock our pelvis forward. So if you're stuck in this land right here, then you want to get some elevation on your hips so that you can come forward. So wherever you are, I want you to flex your feet, bring your toes towards the sky. Inhale to create length, and exhale, leading with your chest, walking your body forward. If your hands are able to come forward, walk them forward. Inhaling to create length, exhaling to go deeper. And for you, your forward stretch might actually be pressing out through your heels, flexing your toes to the sky, and keeping your hands behind you. So reaching backwards with your hands and inhaling, lifting your crown any amount and pressing forward. Keeping your chin tucked, preserving your posture. And finding a space where you can be for the next 5 to 7 breaths. Two more breaths. Inhale, walking your body back up, nice and tall. Walk your hands behind you, sit up nice and tall. Root your sitting bones more firmly into the ground. And releasing your right elbow towards your right knee or towards a block. Anything that feels comfortable for you. So for me, I like to place a block on the outside of my right knee. Placing my right elbow or even your hands down on the side and inhaling your left arm up and over top of your head. Reaching your left fingertips towards your right toes. Spinning your body open. Looking under your left arm. Finding the space where your left sitting bone is firmly rooted into the ground and your left fingertips are reaching towards your right toes. And for those of you that are more flexible, you might even have your left fingertips all the way down and holding on to your right toes. Wherever you are, breathing a little more deeply and practicing your sense of self-compassion. Appreciating whatever motion and movement you have in this moment. Inhaling your left arm back down. Placing both your hands back behind you, creating some length. Releasing your left elbow to the left and inhaling your right arm up and over top of your head. Reaching towards your left toes. Keeping both of your feet flexed, finding the power in your legs and expansion in your upper body. Option to look underneath your right arm. Sending your breath all the way down your right rib cage. Closing your eyes. Hi, Bodhi. And if you're lucky, your dog comes along and licks your toes too. Inhaling your body back up. Placing both your hands underneath your thighs, lifting your thighs. Bringing your knees back together. And slowly again, one vertebrae at a time, rolling back, broadening your chest, finding that slow, deliberate flow all the way back. Keep going, slow as you can go. For 3, for 2, for 1. Release all the way down, both knees into your chest, squeezing your knees in, lifting your forehead to your knees, and exhaling, releasing your head back down to the mat. Keeping your right leg in, inhale your left leg long, all the way down to the front of the mat. Flex both of your feet and release your right knee all the way across your body to land on the left side. Stretch your right arm out to the side, palm to the ceiling, and spin your gaze to the right-hand side, looking towards your right hand. Option to rest your left hand on top of your right knee. 2 more breaths. Inhale your right knee back up. Squeeze it in. Invite your left knee to join your right. Hug both your knees in. Continue to hold on to your left knee. Press your right foot straight all the way to the mat. Flex both your feet and release your left knee across your body, coming to rest as close as you can to the floor on the right. Open your left arm out to the left, palm up or palm down. Option to bring your gaze through to the left-hand side. Settling into your twist. And softly and consciously moving your breath where it feels like it needs to go. Inhaling your knees back to center. Bring your left knee in, bring your right knee with it. Squeezing in, interlace your hands over top your shins, rocking from side to side. An option as we go into the last couple minutes of yoga practice to take whatever posture and movement you'd like to take at this time. If you have headstand in your practice, you can end your practice with 5 to 10 breaths in headstand. Or you can lie back on your back, place a block or set a stack of books underneath your pelvis, supporting your sacrum, and inhaling one leg up, followed by the other. Heels to the ceiling, arms opening up to the side. Into Viparita Karani, legs up in the center. One of the most soothing postures that you can take. Calming and nurturing on your nervous system. And if you prefer not to be in that posture, then simply walking your legs out to your Shavasana. Maybe taking a moment to taking the blanket and stretching it out over top of you, or placing a sweater on. And when you're ready, making sure you're taking up lots of room with your arms and your legs. Releasing your feet to either side of your mat, palms to the ceiling. Closing your eyes. Releasing your breath. This morning I'm going to read a short poem by an unknown author. Keeping your eyes closed. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go. Love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. When you're ready, draw the seams of your legs together. Reach out to the balls of your feet. Stretch your arms up and over top of your head. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms, stretching out through your fingertips, reaching out through your toes, and exhaling. Drawing one knee into your chest, followed by the other. Rolling onto your right-hand side. Keeping your knees nice and close, cradling your head on your outstretched arm. Just taking a moment. Either staying here, or if you feel compelled, pressing into your left hand, keeping your eyes closed, coming to sit in a cross-legged seated position. Resting your hands on your lap. When you're ready, inhaling your outstretched arms all the way on either side of you, reaching up all the way towards the sky, gathering the energy, lifting your gaze, bringing your palms together, placing your palms all the way down to heart center, folding forward at the hips, chin to your chest, bowing your head. Acknowledging all that you are and thanking yourself for showing up today. And from my heart to yours, Namaste. Well, thank you so much for joining me in the yoga practice this morning. I really appreciate it. You are so very welcome. Thank you, Mickey and Georgia. Thank you, Anna and Sarah. Thank you, Karen. And Kathy. Well, your gift of coming to yoga with me a few times a week is making a really big difference for me. So I thank you. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Mike and Patty. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Create what you can create. Bring your beautiful intention out into the world. And you are so welcome, Pam, for getting your butt up. I think you did that on your own. And Jenny. Thank you, Sandra. Beautiful. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all soon.